The two fighters are almost identical in size. A 1/4 pound weight advantage for Meldrack Taylor, a 1/2 inch height advantage for Julio Cesar Chavez, but basically they will present the same physical picture to each other in terms of size and dimension.
Jim, Taylor is a little bit stronger. Taylor looks more like a welterweight, I think. Chavez a little bit more like a lightweight, but Chavez has shown real muscle definition in preparation for this fight, more so than we've seen him.
Punch statistics, Larry.
And here is our statistical profile of how active these fighters are. And as you can see, Taylor throws a few more punches, but Chavez, who generally throws at close range, has a much higher percentage of success. Their styles also are reflected in the number of jabs they throw. Taylor throws more jabs. Chavez just pushes his jab out as an opportunity to get close to his opponent.
Rules for the fight, combining the rules of the WBC, the IBF, and the state of Nevada. 3 judges scoring on the 10-point must. No standing 8 count, no 3 knockdown rule, and you can be saved by the bell in the last round only. Right now, let's go up to the ring announcer, Chuck Hull, for the pre-fight introductions.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Hilton Center of the Las Vegas Hilton Hotel, where tonight Don King Productions and Main Events Monitor Dan Duva, President, in association with the Las Vegas Hilton, presents World Championship Boxing. This bout is sanctioned by the Nevada State Athletic Commission, Dr. James Nave, Chairman. The commissioners at ringside this evening are Dr. Elias Ghanem, Dwayne Ford, Jay Nady, and Luther Mack. The executive director of the Nevada State Athletic Commission is Chuck Minker. Representing the IBF at ringside this evening is Mr. Al Goodman, and representing the WBC at ringside is Mr. Bobby Lee of the state of Hawaii. The officials assigned by the governing bodies for the next bout of the evening, the judges will be Chuck Giampa, Jerry Roth, and Dave Moretti. The timekeeper will be Mike Morabito. Counting into the knockdowns, Al Bisick. The attending physicians at ringside, Drs. Flip Omansky, James Game, and Al Capana. And your referee is Richard Steele. This is the main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing for the unification of the WBC IBF 140-pound championship. Introducing, in the red corner, fighting out of Culiacan, Mexico, weighing in at 139 1/2 pounds, with a professional record of 66 wins, no defeats, with 56 KOs. He is the WBC Super Lightweight Champion of the World, Julio Cesar Chavez. And in the blue corner, fighting out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, he weighed in at 139 3/4 pounds. His professional record consists of 24 wins, no defeats, 1 draw, with 14 KOs. He was a gold medalist in the 23rd Olympiad in Los Angeles. He is the current IBF Junior Welterweight Champion of the World, Meldrick Taylor.
Okay, you guys, I spoke to both fighters in the dressing room. I'm cautioning again, tell them both to obey my commands at all times. All right? Watch the low blow, the rubber punches, okay? Shake hands, good luck.
The two things to watch right off the bat are, will Chavez come out faster than he normally does? Will Taylor be able to avoid serious exchanges?
Let's go.
I'm so excited I could watch these guys fight for 3 straight days.
Through all of his training, Meldrick Taylor trained with a circle drawn in the middle of the ring. Lou Duva urged him to stay inside there and not go near the ropes. When he goes near the ropes, even if he may look good doing it, he is doing exactly what his corner won't want him to do.
Well, they had what they call the zone, fight in the center of the ring, not allow Chavez to corner him. So you should see a lot of movement from Taylor.
Customarily, Chavez does not throw a lot of punches in round one, but he has promised, as Larry Merchant pointed out, to start faster this time.
Taylor's a little tight here, but I noticed where his punches came out rather. They were not exactly smooth.
Chavez scored with a left hook. A right in close by Chavez, but Taylor finished the exchange.
This is the kind of fight that Chavez loves, that inside fighting. Likes to work the body. So what Taylor has to do is to maintain his boxing style. Just keep moving.
Chavez's eyes are focused on the midriff of Meldrick Taylor. He is thinking body from the outset. Taylor with a left after he missed with a right to the body. For both fighters, the jab is a strategic rather than an offensive weapon. They're using it to set up other punches, not to do damage or to score heavily. Good countering jab by Taylor as they finish that exchange.
Chavez not really doing much. He's trying to see what Taylor has to offer. And then what he'll do, he'll pull on the attack.
Taylor using his hand speed to land a little bit more frequently. One subtlety to watch if you have not seen Chavez before. He has extraordinary capacity to keep his eyes open inside and find targets amid heavy infighting.
That's concentration. That's what it takes.
Right hand lead by Chavez. Taylor flurries in return.
You see the in and out movement from Taylor. Gets inside, throws combinations, and steps back out. That's what he needs to do.
Yep, just what you prescribed before the bout. So far, Chavez does not seem to have been markedly more busy than in past rounds one. Probably something that is just constitutionally difficult for him to do. Taylor starting with the jab. Chavez is using more right-hand leads.
That was a terrific round for Taylor. Well-disciplined round, and that's the key for him. He consistently beat Chavez to the punch. Let's hear Ruben Castillo tell us what's going on in Chavez's corner.
Throw your right hand aloft. You got to respond immediately. 2 jabs, you go first. You throw a good left hook. Work inside it. Don't get frustrated. Don't get excited.
Just jab him in his belly. You understand? But just keep on making the little circle. Make it close. Come on now. Let your hands go.
Give me a little more snap on that jab. A little more snap. Come on.
The most alarming thing from Chavez's point of view in that round is that he didn't land enough body punches. He must land body punches to slow Taylor down so that he can come on in the second half of the fight.
Round one was a very busy one for Meldrick Taylor. He threw 96 punches.
They also instructed Taylor to snap that jab, bring it back, because you see the right hand of Chavez. He's trying to counter that jab. And it's difficult to do that if you throw 2 jabs.
Chavez still doing more looking than throwing.
That's Jim, that's the kind of fight that's going to be good for Taylor. To frustrate Chavez. Make him look for him. Be cute.
We've seen Chavez get off to this kind of start against much less talented fighters than Meldrick Taylor, though. He started slowly against Sammy Fuentes here in November. Again, Taylor finishing exchanges inside, using his hand speed. Some unorthodox targets. Trainer George Benton has urged Taylor to go for Chavez's shoulders and to hit him on the hip to distract him and throw off his rhythm. There he goes, hitting Chavez to the hip. The expectation of Taylor's camp is that he can get away with low blows to the side of Chavez's body. They trade a right and a left, and Taylor did more damage with his left hook.
Taylor is bleeding in the mouth.
Yep, it's dripping out from between his mouth guard. Good right hand inside by Chavez.
The right hand of Taylor constantly drops. I think what's happening here is the fact that because he's been able to land so many punches in the first round, he's gotten a little comfortable here.
So far, Taylor has remembered to counter everything Chavez throws. How distracting could the little blood trickle out of the mouth be, right?
Well, it bothers you because it has a tendency to, to just taste bad. Plus, it hurts, hampers your breathing.
We've been told that Taylor had that cut inside his mouth during training. So it could be that an old cut has been reopened here.
You see the right hand of Taylor, he's dropping it.
Yep, and Chavez is throwing over the top of Taylor now, beginning to land with more consistency. Right hand leads, doing the damage for Chavez now. A solid left inside. And the crowd begins to heat up as Julio Cesar Chavez turns up the pressure.
These are going to be hard rounds to judge. Taylor controlled that fight until that round until the last 10 seconds. How do you score it?
You're too fast now. You understand what I'm saying to you? Now you ain't having no problem, are you? Now look, hey man, don't let him carry you so fast. You understand? The guy's carrying you too fast. He's backing you up too much. Hey man, you got to get down, got to dig in a little bit. You understand what I'm saying to you? You listening to me? Huh? Now get under some of them punches, right? And start to jab him at his chest. Put that on back. All right, I got it. Okay. Okay. No. Keep that jab.
Here's an exchange from early in the round. They're at close quarters. Chavez with a right, Taylor right back with a left.
Well, for the first 5 minutes and 50 seconds, we watched a poised and confident Meldrick Taylor controlling the bout with his speed. But then in the last 10 seconds of round two, Julio Cesar Chavez began to penetrate his defenses.
What you see here is actually...
That was a slip, not a knockdown.
Chavez is trying to... He's dictating the tempo of the fight. He's making Taylor fight his fight at his tempo.
Taylor lands a vicious right hand. Chavez seems unmoved by it. One of Chavez's extraordinary capacities is his ability to take a punch. And he has already taken some solid blows here.
Ray, in that combination, he did what you were talking about before. He threw 3 or 4 punches and then he got out of there. But they didn't linger.
That's true, Larry. That's the key to the fight for Taylor, is get in and get back out. And not sit there and exchange punch for punch. Because what happens also is it wears you down when you're inside like this.
Chavez loves to get in close, body his opponent off, and fire the left hook. He did it successfully just about 10 seconds ago. Taylor still throwing far more punches. He threw more than twice as many punches as Chavez in round two. But typically, Chavez landed more than half of the blows he attempted.
The surprise to me, Ray, so far is that Taylor has been landing many more body blows than Chavez. And that has been Chavez's most effective punch.
And I tell you, that's Chavez's forte, the body shots. In fact, he's abandoned that, and he's trying to out-jab Meldrick.
The Because of his speed, Meldrick is starting and finishing most exchanges. This is another very good round for Meldrick Teylor. They're fighting in the zone in the middle of the ring. Chavez lands a solid right hand.
But you see the frustration on Chavez's face. He can't get set. Now, whether or not Meldrick can keep up this tempo is yet to be seen.
Meldrick trading uppercut for uppercut and landing more effectively than Chavez. Chavez still boring in, coming straight forward against Taylor's flurries. A solid right hand at the bell for Julio Cesar Chavez, but it was another round in which Meldrick Teylor swarmed him with violent activity.
Keep it going like that, you understand?
Harold Letterman, our unofficial official, how do you see the fight?
Larry, 3-0, 30-27 favorite Meldrick Teylor based on clean punching. And for the life of me, I can't understand why Julio Cesar Chavez doesn't take a step to the right, because Meldrick Teylor goes to the left all the time and Chavez doesn't cut the ring off.
And I have the same score, although the second round could have gone either way.
Stand there with him. Go punch for punch with him. Let's go. He doesn't have anything. Throw combinations. Go to throw a right hand. Throw a good right hand.
We talked before this fight about Teylor allowing that Philadelphia fighter ego to get in the way of a disciplined fight. He stayed disciplined, and Chavez, it seems to me, Ray, is the one who has gone away from what his strength has been.
And that's the body attack. In fact, it's very impressive with Meldrick Teylor thus far. He's been boxing, he's been moving in and out, and every so often he gets inside and throws a few punches.
So if you expected the typical Julio Cesar Chavez slow start, maybe you've gotten that. Or maybe he simply hasn't been able to get started against the overwhelming activity of Meldrick Teylor. In the first 3 rounds, according to punch stat computations, Teylor has thrown 287 punches to only 116 for Chavez. Good right hand lead by Teylor. Still trading 4 blows to 1 for Chavez. Chavez tries the left inside. Teylor comes right back. And Chavez simply hasn't been able to get Teylor to the ropes a single time.
Taylor's combination inside is so fast, he can get them off and get away. But what happens sometimes, he has a tendency to stand up, and he's very vulnerable for a counter. But as long as he's moving, Jim, he can win this fight in fine fashion. Now get out.
Solid left hand by Teylor, and he moves back out. Another successful exchange. The promotion for the bout, Ray, called it thunder meets lightning. And there was a good straight left by Chavez that snapped Taylor's head back. In that characterization, Chavez would be thunder and Teylor lightning. But there are a lot of people who think that Julio is not a powerful puncher up here at 140 pounds.
Well, we'll see that. I mean, quite naturally, he's not been landing the kind of punch he's landed at the lighter division, but he still places those punches so well in there.
He's been knocking people out, but not down.
It's always been an accumulation of punches. So conditioning will be a factor here also.
To clarify what I said, Roger Mayweather and Sammy Fuentes ended their bouts on the stools in their corners, not flat on their backs on the canvas. Chavez simply wore them down.
Watch your head.
That's what he's going to have to hope to be able to do here against a Meldrick Teylor who in the first 4 rounds has gotten off to a fast start and would appear to have built an early lead on the scorecards against the man who is 66-0 coming in.
boxing beauty.
How you feel, baby?
Huh?
You can come on with the ice.
Come on.
Where's the ice?
Get that ice.
I'll take this. Don't let it go. I'm a fan. You understand? On the hips and on the shoulders and on my arms. You understand now? So you don't miss. You got me covered? Now just settle down. Settle down. Don't let the guy carry it too fast. You understand?
Leave it up there. Put it right on. Put it right on. You're boxing beautiful out there. You got to throw a punch in the back this guy up now. I don't want this guy stealing the rounds off you. You hear it?
Yes, you know, when you get nailed, come back.
Mira, que le entra también. Eso es. Eso es. Él se olvida de subir la mano cuando te mete abajo.
Keep your hands up. Throw the combinations down.
Well, Ray Leonard, would you say a near-perfect performance so far from Meldrick Taylor?
It's a very good performance by Meldrick Taylor. He's been doing what he needs to do. Boxing, just boxing, using speed.
Chavez now bullying Taylor into the ropes. And maybe you see some frustration there. Chavez is getting hit a lot.
The madder Chavez gets, the easier fight is going to be for Meldrick Taylor.
And Taylor has gotten away with a lot of low blows. He's landed a bunch of them, and Richard Steele hasn't said a thing. Right hand lead by Chavez lands. Taylor comes back with an uppercut. We'll look to see if Chavez will follow his corner's orders and throw double left hooks.
Chavez is looking for Meldrick Taylor's head. That's not an easy target.
Don't hold him, don't hold him, shit.
Chavez fighting like a bull now, trying to just body Taylor off to make punching room. Taylor throwing punch after punch, though, to keep Chavez occupied.
Chavez appears to be looking for one particular punch. You see Meldrick Taylor using both hands.
The dilemma for Chavez, at least partially, is that it's hard to play offense when you're playing defense every second.
Well, the hand speed of Meldrick Taylor is so blinding. The first thing that Chavez wants to do is block the shot. And in doing so, he doesn't retaliate.
Chavez landed a glancing right hand inside. Taylor wasn't disturbed by it.
Again, Jim, this kind of fight, this inside fight, it wears a fighter down. And again, Taylor, I must stress, Taylor would do better going in and going out. I mean, although he's landing some pretty combinations, he would do better by getting his punches in and then backing away.
Is he getting overconfident?
Well, he's finding that he's able to land so many punches. He's gotten very, very comfortable in there. But he's doing a tremendous job, too.
Is it possible, Ray, that he's getting a little tired to stay outside and that he's trying to get rest in there?
It's better for him to be on the outside, Larry, to get that breather.
And within the last 30 seconds, Chavez has landed 3 solid left hooks inside. Taylor comes back with a bristling uppercut. And another flurry for Meldrick Taylor.
This is the way Meldrick Taylor can steal the round. Throw those combinations before the bell ends.
Chavez boring in with the left and right, and Taylor begins to move again. And as round 5 comes to a close, Meldrick Taylor throws his gloves skyward in celebration of his performance so far.
We've lost this round. We cannot afford to lose any more rounds. Throw punches with him. Don't wait for him. Throw punches with him. You're better than him, Julio. You can't demonstrate nothing. You don't have to. Throw punches until he falls on his bottom. Don't wait, Julio. Throw punches. He's inflating, Julio.
Borderline, okay? Going one way or another. When you get inside now, you don't let him out hustle you on the inside now. You understand?
Okay. Give me one more circle right here. Give me one more circle.
Look at the disparity in punches thrown.
It sounded almost like desperation already in Chavez's corner. I don't know if I can read into their minds, but it seems to me they were saying, you're fighting his fight, you're trying to outbox him, you're trying to be a little too cute, you got to go after him. Everyone expected Taylor to get off to a fast start, the conventional wisdom of this fight. But it doesn't appear at this point that Chavez has done enough damage to Taylor to slow him down significantly in the second half of the fight.
But there may have been a subtle trend, Larry, in the last minute of round 5. Chavez landed 3 solid left hooks inside. If he can get that weapon going, it's the one which would be most likely to bring him back. Taylor still exchanging to the body effectively. They trade punches inside, and Meldrick seemed to wobble for just a second. But now he comes back throwing.
There's a slight swelling under the left eye of Meldrick Taylor.
And every once in a while, we see a little trickle of blood out of Taylor's mouth. That doesn't seem to have bothered him. Left for left, Meldrick misses with a right and a left. Chavez is not getting the kind of leverage he's used to getting against fighters when he can back them up against the ropes.
He's never faced anyone with the speed of Meldrick Taylor, and the speed has definitely bothered the rhythm of Chavez. Chavez not throwing the type of body shots that he's known for, and in doing so, he's allowing Meldrick Taylor to get some of the combinations off, 2, 3, 4 punches before he lands one.
Taylor moving better now than in round 5, throwing the jab from greater distance. Right hand lead solid on the face of Chavez. Julio Cesar dropped his hands for a second.
This is a masterful fight with Meldrick Taylor. He's doing everything conceivable to offset Chavez.
He's even closing the inside exchanges, and that was supposed to be Chavez's forte.
Chavez off balance, reaching in, uncharacteristic.
Lunging with the right hand lead. Taylor beginning to dance and shuffle. And for the first time, Richard Steele tells Taylor to keep his punches up. But not before he'd landed about 20 low blows.
In Chavez's corner, the last round, they said he's getting inflated, which I interpreted to mean he's getting a little full of himself, a little cocky. Well, off of that round, he had every reason to be cocky.
Don't let him carry you too fast. Settle down a little better. You got me covered? Now you're coming back now. You're coming back. You're starting to feel good.
Harold, we're halfway through this. How do you see it?
Larry, I've got Meldrick Taylor winning the fight overwhelmingly, 6-0, 60-54 on points based on clean punching and ring generalship. Julio Cesar Chavez just can't seem to go to the right and cut off Meldrick Taylor when Taylor goes to the left, and Taylor's out punching him, and that's all there is to it. It's all Meldrick Taylor.
I have Taylor pitching a shutout too so far, but somehow I doubt that the judges will see it quite that way. This is the part of the fight
They are all
Chavez
Nevada judges.
Usually starts to take over.
That's right. It is from this point on that he has done his most damage in the past. But tonight, Chavez, who normally lands upward of 50% of his punches, is down in the 30s. So he has not been as effective as he expects to be. Solid left hand by Meldrick Taylor, and Chavez showed you there his incredible ability to take a punch.
You watch the life in the legs of Meldrick Taylor. Still a lot of bounce.
And that gets back to the fact, Ray, that Chavez has not done damage to the body like he usually does.
He hurt Chavez just then. Chavez buckled.
Chavez is damaged by the first minute of this round, in which Taylor has landed at least 3 solid left hands.
Chavez appears to be totally discombobulated here. He's not throwing combinations. He's not throwing body shots. He's looking for that one shot to the head.
I think at this moment he may just be trying to clear his head. I got to brag a little bit, guys. I've been telling my friends for days that Meldrick Teylor would win the first 6 rounds of this fight, and I agree with you, Larry, and you, Harold. I think he has. Let's see if the rest of my predictions will come true. I don't feel that confident about that now.
The way this fight is unfolding, it appears to me that if there is a knockout, it will be, and I've never said this, as far as Taylor's concerned.
You never dreamed before the fight you'd be saying Meldrick Teylor could knock him out, right?
Because Taylor is the boxer, and yet he's out-punching and outscoring Chavez.
Well, his plan coming in was simply to win 1 round at a time and be totally happy with a 12-round decision. He would appear to be well on his way to that. Just to clarify, the rest of my prediction was that Chavez would turn it around in the second half of the fight and score a TKO in about the 11th. Like I say, I don't know if I have much confidence in that right now. Teylor still blistering Chavez inside.
Meldrick Taylor's getting his entire body behind his punches. He's not really known to be a big puncher, but here he's getting a lot of leverage behind the left hook of his.
It's hard to imagine Teylor being more effective. Hard to imagine him doing a better job of rising to the biggest occasion of his career.
When 2 guys stand toe-to-toe like this and throws this kind of punches, normally one guy goes down. Because fatigue has definitely set in with both fighters. They've thrown a lot of punches, more so with Meldrick Teylor.
Punching it out.
Solid left hook inside by Teylor. Chavez continues to try to come back with the left of the body. But he is not hurting Teylor. This would appear to be the deepest, darkest situation of Julio Cesar Chavez's long career.
You saw them touch gloves after that round. There's great respect between them.
He's cut. They want to put water in his trunks. You've got to go out. He's not doing anything. Throw 3 punches.
All right, let's watch some of Taylor's action here. Every good Philadelphia fighter I've ever seen has thrown great left hooks. And Teylor is no exception. He can really throw the left hook. And the right ain't bad either.
And according to PunchStat computations, Chavez's connect percentage was way down to 32%. He only threw 72 punches in the round compared to 103 for Teylor, who connected on nearly half of them. Meldrick isn't just winning the fight. At this moment, he is dominating it.
Let's go. Let's go. Get out.
I'm told they were 15 seconds late on the bell for the last round, and it lasted 3 minutes, 15 seconds. That comes from our production truck.
Keep him up. Keep him up.
Correct that. I am now told that the last round was the proper length of 3 minutes, but that the between rounds period was slightly longer than the normal 1 minute. So let's not say there have been any major irregularities or cast aspersions on the great professionals here in Las Vegas who control boxing and who sit next to me.
Good overhand right by Meldrick Teylor. Teylor has controlled this entire fight, so what he needs to do is maintain that concentration and keep fighting this fight here. It's the perfect formula.
There is swelling around both of Meldrick Taylor's eyes, and a cold compress was applied to what may be a small incipient cut under his left eye between rounds. Chavez landed a left. Teylor flurries furiously in return.
And when have you seen Chavez at the end of an exchange like that moving backwards?
Not very often. This is a whole new experience for Julio Cesar Chavez.
A sign that I see here, Jim, is the fact that Chavez is not pressing the attack. He's more apt to move around And Chavez does not fight this. This is not his fight.
Which suggests that Taylor has driven him off, that he doesn't want to pay the price.
A right and a left by Chavez, and more blood comes out of Taylor's mouth. Taylor begins to flurry with the left again. This is dramatic stuff. You're seeing a young fighter at the very top of his game against one of the greatest to have fought in the last 20 years. And if there was any doubt, Ray, as to whether Meldrick Taylor would fall prey to the pressure that you succumbed to in Montreal when you fought Roberto Duran's fight, it's been just the opposite. He is forcing Chavez to fight his fight.
He is far more poised than I was for my fight with Duran back in '80. A lot of concentration here.
Great left hook by Meldrick Taylor, and Chavez again backs up. Crowd chanting Mexico, Mexico, trying to lift Chavez up.
I like to see those double left hooks thrown by Meldrick Taylor. Throws them very, very well.
Now there's something you never saw. Meldrick Taylor motioning Chavez to come to him.
As if to say, come here, you're an easy target for me.
Julio, está usted muy parado, échele corazón.
You're standing too straight up. Do it for your family. Give it all your heart. Let's go.
Esta se nos ha puesto fea, pero vamos a poner los cojones ahí.
You got to put everything you've got.
Tire lo que tenga, por el amor de Dios, Julio. Tire lo que
For the
tenga,
love
coño.
of God, throw everything you've got, Julio.
Usted es grande, vamos arriba de él.
And there you see Taylor with his quicker hands. He beats Chavez to the punch and to the counter punch. They've gone to the whip very early in Chavez's corner.
Yeah, when the cornermen start saying, for the love of God, they know how desperate the situation is. Taylor lands a right-hand lead to start the round off.
Taylor went straight for Chavez.
It's incumbent on Taylor not to give Chavez an unnecessary chance to get back into this. Look at the speed of Meldrick Taylor's flurries. Reminiscent of a young Ray Leonard.
I love those combinations, Jim. He gets them in. It's so beautiful. He puts them together very well.
And one thing those combinations do, it takes the crowd out of the fight for Chavez, because from a distance you can't see if any or all of those punches have landed.
They come so many, and very few of them are stopped or blocked by Chavez. Chavez still looking for that one big punch.
He's just not getting a chance. He's standing in the middle of the ring where Taylor wants to fight. He hasn't been able to get him to the ropes, and he's being outpunched 2 or 3 to 1.
And still outpunched to the body as well.
If you've just joined us, you're in the middle of the 9th round of a classic performance by a young fighter on the threshold of greatness. Meldrick Taylor, coming into this bout, an underdog against the unbeaten Julio Cesar Chavez, has completely dominated Chavez with hand speed and vicious infighting. Taylor may well have won every round.
You know what I see now, Jim, is the fact that Taylor's coming out on top, fighting inside.
And few expected that. He's done it with commitment, hand speed, superior strategy.
I've seen more body shots thrown by Taylor than I have by Chavez.
And the left hook to the body is supposed to be Chavez's great weapon. Taylor landing at will with the left hook inside, Ray. It's a credit to Chavez's remarkable chin that he does not appear to have been wobbled. Blood now from Taylor's mouth and nose, but nothing is slowing him down. Chavez with a right hand that woke up the crowd for a second. Meldrick has answered everything like that in the bout. Savage left hook to the body by Taylor. And another.
And what you see here again, Taylor's going through the body with 2 hands.
He's been nothing short of great in that category. And finally, Richard Steele gives Taylor a serious warning about low blows. Look at slightly rejuvenated Chavez steps in and lands a right hand.
Gentlemen, if Chavez was a champion and Taylor was a challenger, I would say right now that Chavez has to win his title back.
Ahora sí, este es el hombre que yo quiero. Ya se bajó todito, Julio. Este es el peleador que yo quiero, Julio. Aprovechar ahorita, Julio.
Go for the opportunity. He is slowing down. Clean his face and put in Vaseline. For your family, Julio.
Yo sé que es muy duro, pero tú eres más macho que él.
Harold, we're 3/4 of the way through this fight. Envelope, please.
Larry, I've got it 90-81, 9 rounds to nothing in favor of Meldrick Taylor. In rounds 5, 7, and 9, Meldrick stood on the inside and just outfought Chavez at his own game. And in the 8th round, he backed him up. I mean, I think it's all Meldrick Taylor. I think Julio has lost a lot of the snap to his punches.
Let's go, Sergeant, let's go, let's go.
It's a test of will as well as skill. I don't think either man's will has cracked yet.
In every round so far, Taylor has thrown more punches, landed more, effectively dictated the strategy of the fight.
I see here when Taylor's telling me that he'll block the left hook to the body with his arms. He's doing a good job of that.
He's carried out George Benton's game plan to perfection.
Whoa, beautiful
Trading
combination.
punches inside, and Chavez again seems to wobble slightly as Taylor lands at will. Brilliant stuff from Meldrick Taylor. Chavez on the verge of going down. Now he smiles as he slips a punch.
Incredible fight by Meldrick Taylor. This man is in shape because the tempo of the fight and the combination he's been throwing.
And Chavez, the great body puncher, is reduced to headhunting.
Taylor has to watch out. I'm seeing him being hit by these left hooks. He needs to watch out for those shots. So I'm watching the effects of the punches. When Taylor lands a punch, he rocks Chavez, but also Chavez is able to rock Taylor.
Go home.
Taylor beginning to look more the worse for wear than the action of the bout would have led you to believe, though. Blood again from the mouth and the nostrils. Both eyes beginning to close. Chavez is coming on.
Watch the legs of Taylor. They don't seem to be too steady here. Now this is normally, Jim, when Chavez goes to that combination to the body and back to the head.
Taylor again rocking back with 2 left hooks against the attack to the body. What a heart Taylor's shown tonight. Answering everything Chavez can throw with heavier stuff of his own. Crowd tries to become the 3rd man in the ring.
The arms of Taylor are starting to go down now. He's starting to drop now. Both men are displaying so much heart here.
Chavez finally seizing the initiative for the first time. And for the first time, there's a mild air of danger from Meldrick Taylor. But he still comes back with flurries.
Come on up, come on up.
Right now, it's like who wants it the most.
But you can never question Julio Cesar Chavez's desire.
We see 2 real champions here tonight. The combinations by both men. Meldrick Taylor, incredible.
It doesn't get a whole lot better than that, guys. Angelo Dundee, the famous trainer, is here. He said to me earlier today that Chavez is the toughest fighter he has ever seen, bar none. And you can see just how tough he is if after those first 9 rounds, he can come back at Taylor like this.
Don't back off this guy too much because you get hit, you understand? Huh? You all right? Take a deep breath, man.
This is that exchange earlier in the round, and Taylor landed 2 hard punches. Stiff left followed by a stiffer right. Major league stuff.
Again in round 10, Taylor threw more punches, landed more punches. But Chavez shows a commitment which is rare and exclusive to great champions.
What's going to be interesting in these next 2 rounds is to see how Taylor handles this, because this is the toughest fight he's ever been in. Whether there's fatigue, whether he can stand up to this great champion who is just not going to give up.
It's impossible to conceive that Chavez is in any way disillusioned about the necessity of a knockout. He's got to knock Taylor out to win this fight.
Don't hold him. Watch your head. Keep him up.
The best punch of Taylor is the left hook. Look at it, 3-4 left hooks at a time.
The left hook, as Larry told you, a Philadelphia staple. Remember Joe Frazier?
Watch your head.
It has been 78 years since a fighter began his professional boxing career with as many or more consecutive wins than Julio Cesar Chavez. Right now, the 66-0 record, which was such a landmark in the history of the sport, the best in the last 78 years, is in serious jeopardy. As round 11 comes toward a close, Julio Cesar Chavez must begin to contemplate the reality that he's got 3 minutes in which to produce an unlikely knockout, or he will see his streak end before thousands of his countrymen.
The impressive thing, he's still seeing combinations thrown by Meldrick Taylor. Here in the 11th round, incredible.
2 hard punches at the bell after a furious round like that.
And Taylor was woozy and almost went to the wrong corner. He doesn't have a lot left, Larry.
Julio, tienes que jugártela este round.
You've got to go for this round. When the bell rings, you've got to go, throw your punches.
Tú lo puedes noquear todavía, Julio.
No, this is the last round. The whole fight is right now.
This round depends on you need it now. You need this round.
No, the fight is hanging on this round here, Mel.
This is
Okay, champ, this is the last and final round.
the man told you.
No, nobody called you.
The man told you.
No, you want to be champion of the world? You want everything?
Vamos, campeón, vamos.
Come on, champ.
Julio, tú eres más fuerte que él.
You're stronger than he is,
Tú
champ.
puedes más que él, vamos.
You're more than he is.
Seconds out. Seconds out.
Harold, how do you have it?
Larry, 9-2, 108, 101. Meldrick Taylor, I think he's on his way to a unanimous decision.
If you're a fight fan, get ready for 3 minutes of high drama now, as a desperate and determined Julio Cesar Chavez tries to take out a fading and battered Meldrick Taylor, who has completely dominated him through most of the fight. Both of Taylor's eyes are closing. The blood continues to flow from his nose and his mouth, but if he stands up, he wins.
And but he's a warrior. Look at him. He's trying to stay there and trying to apparently push Chavez out. Play it safe and box.
Meldrick Teylor said before the fight, he'll take me to a higher place.
He's there right now. He's there right now, Larry. No question about it. Well said.
Get out.
That is a tired Meldrick Teylor slipping to the canvas. 2 minutes to go. Maybe 2 minutes left in Julio Cesar Chavez's historic unbeaten streak.
You would expect the aggression to be with Chavez. It's more so with Teylor. He's fighting like he's behind on points.
Well, they're both tired. But you're right, Ray. It doesn't appear at this moment that Chavez has the stuff to get it done. More pawing than punching now, at a time when he needs the best. Another solid left hook from Meldrick Teylor.
If he gets up, he probably wins the fight. I can't believe it.
Unbelievable. Richard Steele stopped the fight with fewer than 5 seconds to go. You're going to watch Lou Duva go crazy now. You're going to watch Lou Duva go absolutely berserk. This is one of the most unusual calls by a referee in the whole history of the sport.
5 seconds left. I cannot believe they stopped that fight. From the point of view of Chavez, it is one of the most dramatic comebacks in the history of the sport.
Larry, the official time will be 2:58 of the 12th round. He knocked him out with 2 seconds left.